Hello everyone, hi, how are you guys doing today? Welcome back to another episode reaction to Doctor Who. This is Haarute, my name is Samantha, hello. Hi. We're watching the final special episode into the 60th year episode specials that we're releasing. And I think it's the final episode featuring the 14th Doctor and probably Donna Noble. Man, I already talked about this, but like it was very exciting to have them. And it also felt like we were starting an arc, it felt like a new beginning, almost as if it was a new season, but it wasn't, right? Like because of the way the episodes are presented to you, it's a special trilogy. This is not the new status quo. It is a thing where the Doctor doesn't know what's coming to him, but we do. Well, we don't know exactly, but we do know that bad things are probably about to happen. So I've been eager to watch this episode, but also at the same time, it's a little bit like I don't want it to end. I don't want this like David Tennant, Catherine Tate, Russell T Davies like combo to come back and immediately we lose them again. Like I don't want to lose that. Like it would be great if we had it for like one full season. Not even a full season, just like 6 episodes, 8 episodes. I would be happy with that, like a mini season. But instead, we get like 3 small episodes released to you weekly. So we have to come in and say hi and say goodbye within the same couple weeks. So it's a bummer. But hey, Russell Davies is staying and I trust him in. We'll see what happens now though with Tennant and Tate. But yeah, we're gonna watch the third episode in the specials, the Giggle. Let me say, I think I know who the antagonist for this one is. And in fact, I'm pretty sure I mentioned him at the beginning of the Star Beast. I mean, if you're watching this reaction, you already watched the episode. I think it's the Toymaker, isn't it? The Celestial Toymaker. Because, like, again, this has been around for like a year now. People have been talking about, oh, it's the Toymaker coming back, and it's this Neil Patrick Harris thing. It's an act. I don't know actors, but it's an actor that people recognize, and it's like, oh shit, it's the Toymaker. And I tried, I pulled up the episodes to watch the Celestial Toymaker's original episodes with William Hartnell. And I didn't because I was very busy. How busy? I released my reaction video to Wild Blue Yonder today, which is when the Giggle came out. And in fact, I released it after the Giggle came out, like an hour after, because I'm late to the party. That is my recurring trend here. I'm always just one step behind. I have several work projects that I'm juggling, and this one I was trying really hard to release it as soon as I could, and it came out a little bit late, but it's completely fine. But I didn't have time to watch the Celestial Toymaker story. I did watch like the intro of it. I did read like a synopsis of it, and I also watched the ending of it actually, because the official YouTube channel for Doctor Who was kind enough to put up a video which was the Doctor defeats the Toymaker, and within that video it was like a couple minutes video, and I think it's the ending of that storyline where essentially the Doctor tricks the Toymaker, because the way the Toymaker works is that the Toymaker is an immortal entity that will always come back, but he pulls you into his own like world in order to play a game with you. But he's a sore loser, so when he loses a game, the world is destroyed, but he will come back anyway. But he wants to destroy you because he always ensures that the destroyer is destroyed, because he's a petty loser. So that's the Toymaker. That is a great idea for an antagonist. I am excited that they're bringing it back. At least that's what I think. That's what I've been hearing for like a year now. So that's gonna be fun watching this. But last week's episode, we went to a spaceship and some wild shit happened. But more importantly, at the end of the episode, we got to see Wilf again. Wilfred is back. And I think he's just going to stick around for this episode. He's going to be a companion for the Doctor for this episode alongside Donna. Again, whenever Will shows up, I feel like it's time to say goodbye. We got to say goodbye to our regeneration. We got to say goodbye to David Tennant. Every time Wilfred shows up, it means David Tennant's going away. We gotta say goodbye to this 3 specials, the 60th anniversary. Another thing I watched, let me mention real quick. Again, you can just skip ahead if you don't want to hear this, but I was watching this Tales of the TARDIS. So for the 60th anniversary, they released BBC iPlayer, I think, like a website. This Tales from the TARDIS bits, where they screened a couple of classic stories in like a one singular video, just like all condensed into one another. But at the beginning and end of each story, they recorded new scenes with old actors that essentially they're walking into this TARDIS set, but it's not the real TARDIS. It's like a janky, messy TARDIS, which is a memory TARDIS, which is a place where old friends gather and they can remember things that happened in the past, because the memory TARDIS remembers memories but also requires memories in order to exist. So it remembers the people that happen in the memories, such as all of these old characters, and then it requires you to feed it with memories by telling stories. So the way the Tales of the TARDIS is presented is a lot of these actors just coming in and meeting together again, and talking about some old tales, some old adventure they went on, and then you watch the episode, and then at the end they talk about what we just watched. So, for example, Peter Davison is the Fifth Doctor, and he runs into Tegan. I forgot the name of the actress that plays Tegan. I'm sorry, but we've seen her in Power of the Doctor. So they come in together and they talk about Earthshock and Idric, and it's great. And it is wonderful because it is giving you a little bit of closure at the end. What they talk about, like, we never talk about it too much, and I feel like we should have. This is like therapy. And then I watched one with Sophie Aldred as Ace and Sylvester McCoy as the Seventh Doctor. Which, if you've been watching my channel, you know that that's my duo. Those are my companion Doctor duos that I love very much. I have a very soft spot for the Seventh Doctor and Ace. I love them so much. So they recorded this bit where they're talking about the Curse of Fenric, which I watch, and it's a great story. I mean, they're doing a bunch of callbacks and they're doing a bunch of references, and I was crying. Like, it's just a silly 8 minutes bit, but I was just crying. Because, like, if you watch my Power of the Doctor video, you can see that when the Seventh Doctor and Ace were talking to one another for the first time ever since 1989, I was weeping. Like, I was at the verge of tears during Power of the Doctor already. And now I'm watching like an 8 to 9 minutes bit of nothing but that. And it's funny because, like, I didn't do a reaction to those because it's just a random YouTube video. Like, I just watched a YouTube video that was just like a compilation of it, and I was just like, oh, it's like a fun extra. It's just like a couple minutes. But then I watched it and I was like, oh no, I'm this is real shit. This is real dramatic, and I'm crying. And oh my god, this is too much for me, because it really feels like a continuation of old stories. With characters actually talking about it and acting as themselves. It's not just like a fun cameo. It's actually like an emotional, we're talking about things that happened in the past. And it really got to me. Anyway, so watch Tales of the TARDIS. There's a couple of them. The Earthshock one is incredible because that is an incredible story. The Curse of Fenric one with Seventh Doctor and Ace is incredible too. There was one with Colin Baker as the Sixth Doctor, and he had a new outfit because fuck that old outfit. He didn't like it. And Perry Brown, I don't remember the name of the actress, I'm sorry. They talking about Vengeance on Varys, and it was really fun because she was like, it's depressing because have you seen 21st Century? It reminds me of Varys. And I was like, oh fuck. Like, I mean, yeah, it does. There was one with Joe Grant and Clyde, which I'm pretty sure it's a character from Sergeant Adventures. I didn't watch Sergeant Adventures, but I like seen bits of it, and I've read wiki on it. And they talk about Elizabeth Sladen being gone, or in the real universe, Sarah Jane being gone. Joe talks about her late husband who passed away, which the real actor passed away last year. That also really got to me. I was crying with that one too, because the actress that plays Joe Grant, God, I forgot her name, but she's a delight. I follow her on Twitter. She's always just so supportive of the fandom and just goes and talks to people all the time. Kathy Manning, I think. But like, she has like this whole bit where she's talking about being an old lady and how the greatest adventure and the best story of all is never to just go around having it was to just feel love. And she talks Clyde into going and confessing to Rani, I think. something like that. And it was just this very emotional bit, and it just really got to me having like a really old like person who's like lived through a lot of things and has seen a lot of things just talk to you about, you know, just go for it. I don't want you to miss out on things. And now me, as someone who has experienced a lot of these things, I can tell you, just do it, just go. Like, I don't know, just something about someone who has seen a lot and is an old person just talking to a younger person about their experiences, just going through it. And it was emotional because you felt like Caddy Manning was also putting a lot into her emotional delivery of things. Like, she has been through a lot. So that really got to me. Anyway, Tales of the TARDIS, really good stuff. And it's part of the 60th anniversary celebrations, actually. So I feel like I should mention it someplace here. I was literally crying for a lot of those. I was like, man, I fucking... It upsets me how much I love this dumb fucking show. Like, the hold it has on me. Anyway, I should start. I'm sorry, this was a long intro. If you don't care about anything about what I just said, I'm sorry, but I do. Okay, let us begin. Let's watch the Giggle. Patreon, check out the Patreon link in the description below. Social media pop up on the screen. You can support the channel and watch full-length reactions for all of this. Yeah, that's basically it. Let us begin. Doctor Who 60-year anniversary specials, number 3, the Giggle. Let's go.
Behold, we have everything. We have dolls. We have the teddy bears and the Harvey horses.
I just want this, really.
Stooky Bill. And the poor
There's a
Stooky
bunch
Bill.
of creepy toys here. Not just those, there's more creepy shit in the background.
Just him, thank you. Is that real hair?
Yeah. I cut it off the head of a beautiful lady.
Just the head.
Not miss it. She will never miss anything ever again.
And that is when you walk away.
It's not for children. It's for my employer, Mr. John Logie Bear.
Oh, the inventor man. Wunderbar. What is he being inventing now?
It's a new thing called television.
Ooh.
Ready now? May God go with us.
They will fuck all of reality. Introducing like a cursed item into such a important moment in history, the invention of the television.
The very first television picture. I'll need a moving image.
We have to film as it melts. His eyes are gonna move. It's not. Okay, mouth open.
Imagine if he could talk.
Oh
Imagine what he would say.
boy. Okay, back to modern times. So people are just going nuts. Explain yourself.
I can't drive. I pay my taxes, which means I'm paid for this road. It is mine, and I will do with it what I like. It's my life, not yours.
Oh, he's right there in the background dancing.
Everyone started thinking they're right. If you try to argue, they go mad. Not me. I've always been right.
Perhaps you will dance avec moi.
Oh. Oh? Unit. Maybe we can't trust Unit because they're all under the effect. You can't really trust any humans right now, or anyone. Not creepy at all. Not suspicious at all. Let's hope we can trust them. Hey, that's the fucked up weird curve building that melted cars. Are we gonna see Kate? Maybe we'll see the wheelchair lady, but I would like to see Kate. Wheelchair lady.
And Kate Lethbridge Stewart.
My girl. Love her. She seems pissed. Aww.
I fought them all, robots and insects and yetis and clones, but what do we do this time, Doctor? How do we fight the human race?
We found the source of the problem. I love Kate.
Good. Now,
Is that... Was that Melanie?
Oh, Melanie!
It's no... Where's Ace?
We'll catch up later. We haven't got time. I wasn't the first right ahead. No, that was me.
Melanie. We only got to see a cameo of her at the end of Haarute the Doctor. Just a little cameo.
What do I care? Why should I care about you?
No change there, then.
Yeah, I was about to say. Oh, okay.
We call it the C-Dex.
An invention of the Blinks.
I think I need to show you.
Okay, what is the spy?
Busy day?
Why do you want to know?
I'm just asking. Is that a problem?
It's an invasion of my privacy. In fact, it's an assault on my civic rights, and I think it's highly relevant that the person demanding information from me is an alien.
I've seen these people on Twitter.
Both with red hair. What is this?
Oh no. Ah,
In that chair.
everyone is turning into a Karen.
You walking. Don't deny
Oh,
it.
this is straight up what it is. That is straight up what this is. Oh my god. bunch of angry old boomers on Twitter. I mean, I'm here for it. Fuck those people. Those people started coming in and complaining about woke Doctor Who in my comment section, and I banned all of them. Fuck those people.
It is generated inside the brain.
So it is something that changed the people.
Monitor us and microwave our brains. I am anti-Z-Dex.
Oh my god. Oh my god. It's not even subtle. It's like too much.
Post that as the final link in the chain. The world is now 100% online. Everyone is connected.
Give me a second, because I spent 6 months teaching my daughter how to play the recorder till she said this is not who I am, and that was the start of a whole other conversation, believe you me. But maybe it's music.
A classic arpeggio. La 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 la.
Oh, that did something bad.
Sing that again.
La 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 la.
I know that from somewhere. Found the exact same notes.
Okay. Yeah, it's the original recording of TV. I love how creepy it is.
The very first image has been hiding in every screen ever since.
It's like a subliminal message every time you look at a screen.
Everyone and everywhere, he's inside them all.
Laughing at the human race, driving me.
But something on that scale over so many years, who could do that?
I think something's coming back. After a very long time.
A long time.
The human race might be clever and bright and brilliant. It's also savage and venal and relentless. All the anger out there on the street, the lies, the righteousness. That's human. That's you. That's who you are. Using your intelligence to be stupid and hating each other. You've never needed any help with that.
Something else is using your worst attributes, like toys.
I like what we're doing with this episode so far.
So we've been waiting for permission. All world leaders are being affected by the Giggle.
You have my permission.
In case of a world crisis, isn't the Doctor the president by the United Nations? Wasn't that something we established with Peter Capaldi?
I got nothing. But then Kate offered me a job, and here I am.
I would watch a spin-off of a bunch of old companion ladies in UNIT.
You should think about joining UNIT. 60,000.
120 plus 5 weeks holiday.
Done.
You've never mentioned her.
There's a lot of...
I'm a billion years old. If I still talk about everyone I'd ever met, we'd still be in the TARDIS and yapping.
You talk about no one, ever. You just keep charging on.
Yeah.
You are busy every second of every day. I got a glimpse inside your mind. You are staggering along. Maybe that's why your old face came back. You're wearing yourself out.
Where did Stooky Bill come from?
Yeah. And once again, he's focusing on the task instead of the actual conversation relevant to him. That's a good point, Donna Smicken, though. Maybe he's just not leaving any room for anything new. Oh, he's right. Oh, he knows him.
Go back to the TARDIS.
You never tell me to do that.
Are you not get pleased, Herr Doctor, to see me again after so many years?
The toy maker.
Hide and seek.
This is gonna be a wacky ass episode with lots of playing. Yeah, we're fucked.
I've seen Ood, Davros. I mean, the Adipose, for God's sake.
He's not just an alien. He's like a trickster god.
When I was young, I was so sure of myself, I made a terrible mistake.
I let the TARDIS fall into another realm, a hollow beneath the under-universe.
But you escaped.
I beat the toy maker, I won his game, but now he's here. He's found his way into reality. And I think it's all because of me. I played a game and let him in. An elemental force with the power of a god, and he's driven the human race mad with a puppet.
You always say.
Oh, what do I say? What do I say? What do I say? Because I'm always so certain. What am I now? I don't know if I can save your life this time.
It's not about me.
Oh, yes, it is.
Maybe I'll save you. You big idiot.
What? Oh, it's this man.
I came back to the shop. I couldn't stop hearing it.
He's a puppet, isn't he? Yeah, he's a puppet.
Now I dance. Whenever he commands, I dance and I prance.
Do you like my puppets, Doctor? Here's my favorite one.
I thought I was clever. I thought I was clever.
I'm really worried about what could happen to Donna.
Sticky babbies can't sleep. They missed their kiss goodnight.
Fuck those babies.
Seen the widow cry, and now it's
think you're a goner.
Oh, that was good. Does that count as her playing the game because she rhymed? Kill your mom. Fuck you. Oh. Okay.
He met eine friend called Amy Pond, touched by the weeping angel, and she died.
She didn't die. She went backwards in time and died then. Yep.
Well, that's all right then. Clara.
Clara's different story.
He was killed by a bird.
She still survives in her last second of life.
Well, that's all right then.
He keeps giving excuses.
Bill, not Stooky Bill, but Lady Bill, killed by the Cybermen.
Bill was fucked up though.
Her consciousness survives.
Oh well, that's
He
all
keeps
right then.
making excuses. He's coping.
The flux was killing everything.
I challenge you to a game.
Ah.
I accept the challenge.
You have no choice.
I love how his entire cadence, everything changed.
The master was dying and begged for his life with one final game. And when he lost, I sealed him for all eternity inside my gold tooth.
Oh, the master's coming back then.
The one who waits.
Who's that?
I saw it, hiding, and I ran.
What do you mean?
That's someone else's game.
Okay, we're just setting something up.
Why does everyone think they're right?
So that they win. I made every opinion supreme. It's the game of the 21st century. They shout, and they type, and they cancel. So I fixed it. Now everybody wins.
And everyone loses.
The never-ending game.
I feel like he's gonna lose and gonna have to save him. This is too early on into the episode.
I won the game. Many years ago. You won today. Which leaves us equal. Two players are bound by one inviolable rule.
Best of three.
Best of three.
2023.
We have our final round in 2023. Okay. Well, fuck that entire place. Oh, that's cool.
The satellite was only a link in the chain, so Donna needs access to the subframe. There is no one in London faster on a keyboard.
What are we fighting?
An elemental force. Beyond the rules of the universe.
You think life is a balance between order and chaos, but the universe is not binary, far from it.
There is order and chaos. And there is play. What's that?
Sure. He literally walked through a door. And he continues to do so. I like that this is just the master but on crack, which Sacha the One already was. Oh god. Yep.
Oh, how I am liking this. The gun, mit the laser und the bang und the boom. I don't understand why you're so small.
It's a good question. You can do anything and this is what you do.
All that exists is to win or to lose.
So come with me.
We can take your games back to the stars. We can play across the cosmos. We can be celestial.
The Time Lord and the Toymaker.
Infinite games. And yet...
The matches, the medals, the gambling and the anger.
Yeah.
Mind games, the dating and ghosting, the deceit and the control. You make me dizzy. I am in no hurry to leave this place.
Is a companion? Is a soldier? Is a scientist? Is an orphan? Your fight is with me! One more game!
I played the first game with one doctor. I played the second game with this doctor. Your own rules have decreed. I play the third game with the next doctor.
He's not dying alone. I'm gonna be with him.
So am I. You're gonna be someone else. It doesn't matter who. Because every single one of you is fantastic.
It's time.
It's not working.
Could you pull? Just pull each way.
What? What? Are we having two? You know what? I actually thought about this because in the trailer a year ago, he was like, what the fuck is going on here?
You're me.
I'm me. I think I'm really, really me. I am completely me. Does this work? I don't know.
Fuck it. Let's try, man. Yeah. I immediately get the vibe of what we're doing here. I want to talk about it so bad. He doesn't have any pants on. So good to see you.
Someone tell me what the hell is going on here.
That's what it's, I think.
Bi-generation.
But sure, whatever.
Bi-generation is supposed to be a myth, but...
I think you're beautiful.
Still beautiful.
Yeah.
I challenge you to a game.
Let's do it.
There's two of you. And according to the rules, you can't say no. But that's cheating. How? It's your game. And you did this. But you doubled us.
That's true.
Name your challenge, Doctor. The ball. Catch. It's a simple game, really, but I think if you drop it, you lose.
So I think they share clothes right now. So that, I think because the Gadwa Doctor has underwear, that means that the 14th Doctor is freeballing right now. Okay, let's go.
I'm on your side. I'm so sorry.
He's just really playful right now. Ooh. Wait for Tennant to stand up again.
What? We won. You lost. No, but I think you'll find best of three. And my prize, Toymaker, is to banish you from existence forever.
Forever.
It's not.
Oh.
Not fair.
Into the box with you.
My legions are coming.
Ominous. I hate that.
Take it to the deepest vault and bind it in salt.
Yes, Mom.
Hey.
Hi. So
How many died down there?
That's not your fault.
So we have two doctors. I think one of them is like the guild of the past, and the other one is the one that is moving on.
I've got you.
Oh.
Yeah. It's okay.
Oh, that's cool. Was that a woman hand? I'm not sure, but that's a new master.
How's it gonna work?
I mean, we're gonna follow only one of them.
One thing you need in this place is a chair. You're running on fumes.
He needs a break.
That's what I keep saying.
This is what we're doing.
That doctor that first met the Toymaker never, ever stopped.
No, he didn't.
Put on trial, exiled, key to time, all the devastation of Logopolis. Adric! Sarah Jane has gone. Can you believe that for a second?
I loved her.
End rules. We fought the gods of Ragnarok and we didn't stop for a second to say what the hell.
Yeah, he exploded and you just walked away.
You're saying you need to stop.
I like this.
I stayed in one place and I lived day after day after day.
What drive me mad?
It does. And that's the adventure. You changed your face and then you found me. Do you know why? To come home.
You go to your best friend. Just sit down and stop.
He flies off. But I could never let the TARDIS go.
What if?
It's their second TARDIS.
What if the Toymaker's domain is still lingering? Watch. Stand back. We won the game. You get a prize, honey.
That's so dumb.
Oh, look!
Oh.
You finally caught up with the 21st century.
Oh, and it yeah, it has a checkbox. You can listen to music and chill down for a bit. Yep. Yeah, he's going back to the original. This is his.
Where is it?
He was already ready to run away, as the doctor does.
Come here.
This is all very awkward with him not wearing any pants on.
So off you pop, old man.
Oh, you're the old man. You're older than me.
Okay, kid, I love you. Get out.
Salute! Yeah!
Good luck.
stone pot.
They're just to sit down and have dinner.
This species only communicated with their eyes.
Oh, this is so fun.
Am I late? Sorry.
Mel's here too.
I said, what? She pushed me off the cliff.
We could always go in the TARDIS and find out.
Don't you dare.
Until the doctor feels better. Don't go sneaking off to Mars.
He took me to New York last week. The Gilded Age. It was amazing.
Oh.
Just can't turn down my favourite niece. With my best friend, my brother-in-law, the evil stepmother.
Oh, I have barely begun.
And Mad Auntie Mel.
Mad Auntie Mel.
And Grandad, where is he?
Oh, he's off shooting moles.
Gave the moles a force field. I love the moles.
You love the moles?
I love them. Who'd have thought I ended up with a family? Funny thing is, I fought all those battles for all those years. And now I know all four. This.
Yeah.
I've never been so happy in my life.
Alright. Destination Christmas. See you on Christmas, my guy. That is a big episode. I think in the history of the show, that is a massive episode. All right, that was arguably the most important episode in Doctor Who canon from certain perspective, and that is the perspective of this is the episode where the Doctor stopped. This is the episode where the Doctor decided, you know what? I'm just gonna sit down and I'm just gonna chill for a bit because he needs it. He needs a break. And I know that some people are gonna be real upset about that. People were real upset about the Timeless Child being like a thing that somehow ruined the entirety of canon or some shit like that. I never cared. It doesn't matter, right? It's fiction. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do with it as long as it's a good story. The problem that I had with stuff like that is that they weren't very good stories, but the concept itself, it doesn't ruin the canon, right? I don't believe that. Having the Doctor bi-generate, which adds to my theory that he's bisexual, that isn't necessarily something that is upsetting because we have already seen this before with the Metacrisis Doctor. However, this time, moving onward into the future, we are going to follow the new one that was created. But it's not really a new one. It kind of is, but it kind of isn't, because again, it's the same person. It has all the same memories. There was a teaser that they showed it was like 15 seconds a year ago when Power of the Doctor came out. And in that teaser, there was the first instance of, I'm really sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his first name, Nkuti Gadwa. I have no idea how to pronounce that. That was the first time we saw him. And in that teaser, he was like, what the hell is going on? Something like that. And that to me didn't look like that was the Doctor. I mean, I was wrong in that assumption, but to me that looked like a different character. So in my mind, I was thinking, but he's the Doctor, I know that. So I was thinking that the Doctor would actually run into a character played by Gadwa, and he would somehow transfer himself into Gadwa, give him the Doctor, memories and powers or some shit like that. And the reason why I thought that is because I was like, I think Russell Davies wants to take as many swings as he wants, and he kind of did that. I didn't think that a bi-generation or whatever that was would happen, but I did think that something like this would happen where we would actually have two different Doctors, because again, we've seen this before, it's the meta crisis. But what I did not expect was this beautiful story, this beautiful storyline of the 14th Doctor just stopping, settling down. I like it a lot because a lot of these characters, the reason why we like these characters, or a lot of people like these characters, is because, the reason why people like David Tennant is because David Tennant is a sad, wet looking, pathetic puppy. In the sense that you put David Tennant in a dramatic situation and he looks so fucking sad, and it's very endearing, right? You like him. You like David Tennant. Everybody loves David Tennant. And he's a really good actor. But he's really good at acting those scenes where you can see the guilt or the sadness. And even when he pulls out that some kind of anger, you can see where the anger is coming from, and it's very emotional. He's really good at that. And that's also the Doctor as a character. I think that's also part of the reason why he's really good as the Doctor, is because the Doctor is a lot of that. The Doctor is a lot of whimsy and running and being clever, but the reality is that the Doctor as a person is fucked up because, like Davros put it, and I never forget this line because this line was part of showing how nerdy I am. There was a fan-made Doctor Who 50-year anniversary trailer like in 2013, the first question. And I remember watching it a million times. I actually did very naughty. I actually did like some fan stuff to that video, not for anyone or anything, just on my own. On my, like, I had like a small netbook computer that the government gave me for my school year. I dropped out of high school that year, so it didn't last very long, but I was in class and I was fan subbing that video that I had downloaded. So that's how much I cared about dumbass Doctor Who in 2013, and I still do. But in that, I remember the line, "The Doctor, the man who keeps running, never looking back because he dare not. The shame." Very good. From Journey's End. I love that line. Davros says it. And that's what it is, really. Like, the Doctor is this person who... And I mentioned this just at the beginning of the video, too. I was watching the Tales of the TARDIS. Seriously, guys, you can look this up. It's really good. You can see the 5th Doctor and Tegan, and they talk about Earthshock. And in Earthshock, spoilers for classic Doctor Who Earthshock story, I can tell you the Doctor dies, and it's Adric, and it was mentioned in this episode. And it's a really shocking episode because Adric dies, because companions don't often die. They get some kind of fantastical exit, and even in this episode, they were brought up, they were talking about Amy, they were talking about Clara, and they do quote unquote die, but they don't. However, Adric was incredibly tragic, and it was an example of a companion that just died. He just died. He just exploded and died in camera in front of everybody, and there's nothing we could do. It was just very heartbreaking. Earthshock is still one of the most shocking and heartbreaking stories in all of Doctor Who. And in that Tales of the TARDIS, like, small video that they made, Peter Davison as the 5th Doctor and Tegan, they are talking about how they never stopped to talk about that, because it's true. The show just kept going, but they talk about Adric and they're like, we miss them. We feel awful about it, but we never talked about it. We just kept going. And then they come to the conclusion that maybe this whole setup of this like mini bonus episode is like therapy. We should talk about these things. We should remember what happened so he continues to live on, you know? Like, we shouldn't just continue to run away and ignore everything that bad that's ever happened. And this is what this episode is actually tackling on. And it's beautiful to me, because I like happy endings. Who doesn't? I mean, some people don't because they think they might be boring or something, but I do like them. I do like seeing a character who has gone through a lot come to a place where they can finally just sit down and smile, have a nice thing, have a nice meal with friends, you know, stuff like that. But the Doctor never has that. And they mentioned that ever since the Doctor met the Toymaker for the first time in 1966 or whatever. Season 3 would have been 63. No, season 1 would have been 63. Yeah, so it would have been like 1965. Ever since then, the Doctor hasn't stopped, and it's true. The only time the Doctor had stopped was actually at the beginning of the show. Like, at the very beginning of the show, the Doctor with Susan, Susan was going to school because she wanted to do that. She wanted to blend in with the humans. And then they got Ian and Barbara, and then they just were going. The Doctor stayed for a little bit during the 3rd Doctor's era because they didn't have budget in order to have him travel to alien planets, so they brought the aliens to Earth, but he was still just running around working. I know he stopped a little bit during the 7th Doctor's incarnation, during the years where the show was off, because by the time the movie happens, he's just kind of chilling in the TARDIS, but he's still just a hermit. He's still just chilling in the TARDIS by himself, and we don't know for how long. And then I think Matt Smith stopped for a little bit after Amy and Rory died. He was just, again, alone as a hermit, just atop like a staircase in Victorian London, something like that. So those are the moments the Doctor kind of stops, but he never stops to enjoy life. And part of the reason why is because he's just guilty. He's just sad. And like, of course he is. How could he not be? And David Tennant is amazing at bringing that up in the Doctor. Like, every time you can really see the guilt in his eyes. Like, previous episode, Wild Blue Yonder, it was really good when he had that scene with the fake Donna, talking about the flocks, talking about like everything that happened and how many people suffer because of him. But then they go like, it's not your fault. And he's like, I know, but like, how could he not feel that way? But the thing is that the Doctor uses adventure, travel, as a way of coping. And even the toy maker kind of brings that up weirdly here, where he talks about Amy and he talks about Clara, and every time, and he talks about the Flux too, and every time the doctor is like, she died of old age, and then he's like, she's still alive in her last second of life, just traveling around, and it's like the doctor keeps kind of making weird excuses just to not face the reality that his life sucks. And the life of the people around him, I mean, it's their choice what they want to do with it. But it is an awful reality that the doctor just never stops to think about. He never stops to mourn. And more importantly, he doesn't stop to enjoy life at all because he just feels guilty about it. He just feels like it's my fault that happened to them. And I don't want to think about how much I hate myself. So I'm just going to keep going and worry about the mystery of the episode, you know? And I like that this entire trilogy of the 60-year anniversary specials, we've been wondering the question, why did this old face come back? Why is David Tennant back? And in the end here, the reason given is because maybe your body's just telling you, bro, go back to your best friend and just chill. Because again, he was dropped right in front of Donna immediately after getting his space back. So it's like, it is just your body and the TARDIS and everything just telling you, bro, just go to your best friend and just chill for a second. And like, I get that some Doctor Who fans might look at the Doctor and be like, I just want him to keep going. But I actually do like seeing the 14th Doctor here just sit down, have a meal, and tell stories and laugh with, you know, Donna and Donna's family, and Melanie just shows up. And the thing is that they even talk about he's still traveling, he's still doing journey. He's like, hey, he took me to New York or whatever. And it's like, that's cool. Like yeah, like you're not using that TARDIS as like oh, we're going on a fucked up adventure where the world is ending or whatever. It's like, no, we're using the TARDIS to just like go and see a different place, a different skyline, you know? We're not using the TARDIS as a plot generator, but just as a relaxation machine. We're just taking trips. We're just traveling around the world just to see, not because of any need to save someone or to fight anyone, to worry or concern yourself about anything. It's just like, no, that's the other guy's job. He can take care of it. I'm just gonna sit here. I'm just gonna chill. And there's nothing wrong with that, because he puts it like, I always fight all those fights, all those wars, but now I know why. And it's true. Like, I like the way that is put, because it is like, yeah, why are you fighting all of those battles? And it's like, well, because he wants to save someone or whatever. But it's like, what does he get out of this? But the reality is that what he does get is that he doesn't get to think for a second about how much his life sucks. It's a coping mechanism, and it's not good. I like addressing it because it's always been present in the show. It always is. Because like, you're watching the show since like 63 or whatever. You can see how much the sadness and grief of like meeting people, and then those people are leaving and leaving and leaving, and then they die. And then they die. And it's not just your companions, but also just any person you run into in the episode who's just like a random guy in the episode who just dies because you weren't careful enough, dies because you made a mistake, dies because something that you had direct influence upon. And then not even mentioning all of the massive things that happened because of you that maybe you caused or didn't cause. Genesis of the Daleks, like, he was in charge of making sure whether the Daleks would exist or not, and he decided to let them live. And I think the 7th Doctor in the future was like, I should just fucking kill him when I had the chance. And then more into the future, everyone disagrees with the 7th Doctor on the idea of just fucking killing everybody. Which also the 7th Doctor did do. He did blow up Ascara and Davros. And it's this thing where like, the Doctor always makes these big moves and is fighting these big creatures and entities and armies and stuff. Bro, what if you just chill? What if you just sit down and have a nice meal with your best friend? And I like that Donna is able to just tell him that and be like, bro, come on. And I like that he realized that. And now it makes sense. Now the 14th Doctor as a character that we've seen since the Star Beast makes sense. Because in the Star Beast, he's like, he talks about how much he loves Donna or he loves Will. And he comes to this moment of like, I didn't used to say things like that. What is wrong with me? Like, oh, this is different. And it does feel like the 10th Doctor plus emotional maturity is the 14th Doctor. And I think it makes perfect sense for this to be a thing now. Like, this is it. This is the moment where the Doctor is finally at a point where he's realizing what he actually truly wants and more importantly, that he does deserve it. He shouldn't just continue to run away to torture himself by forcing himself to some kind of duty in order to validate his existence by saving people. No, he's fine. He's allowed to just be a person. He's allowed to just be himself and be with the people he cares about and just have fun. He takes Rose on trips and stuff, and Melanie, maybe Donna, maybe the rest of the family. I don't know, they go to fucking Spain or whatever. Like, you don't have to pay for tickets or anything, you can just go. He's just the friendly neighborhood alien who is all-knowing, and at the end of his journey, and this is the important part, this is the part that I love. At the end of his journey, he realizes that he needs to stop the journey in order to attain anything. Like, it feels like he reached nirvana or something, you know? It's like self-actualization. It's the moment where he finally realizes, like, I need to stop in order to be happy. And maybe he already knew that, but he didn't think that he wanted to. He didn't think that he deserved it. But now it's happening. It's true, and he's accepted it. And even at the end of the episode, he talks about, like, I never been happier. And I love that for him. I do. This is kind of why it makes me upset now that I'm thinking about, like, some people. I'm making people up in my mind. I shouldn't do that. It's not healthy to do that. It's not healthy to make a guy up in order for you to get upset at. Kind of the first 20 minutes of the episode was that. I think it's beautiful that he stopped. I love that for him. I love that he gets to enjoy life for a second. And that's the other thing, is that if they wanted to, they can always just bring David Tennant back again. Anytime. Now they don't have to write any convoluted reasons to do so. Now he can just be here if you ever want him to appear. 5 years from now, you can just say, like, David Tennant's back for a second, and it's like, cool, I believe it. I don't think Russell T Davies would actually be interested in bringing David Tennant back again during his run of the show, unless it's like the end of his, like, era, his new era, where, like, maybe everyone comes back in again, like a Journey's End kind of situation, and then we could get Tennant again, and that would be great. But even in the future, you can just say that Doctor decided to go back into Journeys, and we're gonna follow that Doctor now. But I don't think it matters. It doesn't. And I actually think it's beautiful the way this was written. The story here was written for the Doctor, that now he gets to stay and be happy for once. I do think it's beautiful. Like, as I get older, I'm not that old, but as I get older, I start to feel more for stories like these. Stories where people who go through a lot finally get to stop and enjoy life for a second. And especially, like, people who felt like they didn't deserve it. Because, like, I really feel that. I really do. I really understand that. Just the feeling of, like, I don't want to think about it, man. I hate myself. I just don't want to deal with that. And having a story that is, like, just telling you, bro, no, you need to stop, and you actually do deserve that rest. You actually do deserve this happy life alongside the people that you did save and the people that they love you. And I do love that Melanie was brought back here. Melanie's representation of, like, a classic era of the show. And I feel like we needed to have something like that here. Melanie is not a companion I'm particularly that familiar with. I'm not. Like, I've seen her and I recognized her even before they were like, oh, that's Melanie. I saw a redhead that was an old lady, and I thought I recognized the puffy haircut, and I was like, that's Melanie. And then they said it, and I felt happy with myself. I was like, I can recognize someone like that. But Melanie's not a companion I'm particularly that familiar with, because I mentioned I love the Seventh Doctor and Ace. I actually didn't watch the first season with the Seventh Doctor, which is the season with Melanie. I watched the first story, which is Time and the Randy, which is the Seventh Doctor's first story. I watched that whole serial, so I did see Melanie in that serial, but that was the only time I've seen her. But I could recognize her, you know, and I recognized her at the end of Power of the Doctor. She had a small cameo, a small part right at the end during the Doctor Companions Anonymous bit. She was there. She was sitting there. And she is here for this episode, and it's great that she was given a big role here. I would have preferred to see Ace, but that's just me. I think it's really cool that Ace was given her spotlight in Power of the Doctor. That's fine. Just she can be there. Melanie's time is now. And that's good. It's good that they're actually giving her time where before they were given time to Tegan and Ace. Now it's Melanie's time. I like that. And hey, maybe now the doctor can just visit all of the people that he's left behind here. Yeah, like Ace is still around, Tegan is still around. We just saw them. You know, Graham and Yas and all of these people. They're still around. Martha, fuck it. Like, all these people are still on Earth. They're still living their lives. And maybe now the doctor can just take a visit to them. You know, just one day, knock on your door. You open the door. It's fucking David Tennant. And you're like, Doctor, what's up? And he's like, I just wanted to say hi. How beautiful is that? Like, because like the doctor never does that, but the reason why he doesn't do that is because he doesn't want to drag people into his life again, because he feels like he doesn't want to kill them, or he feels like he doesn't deserve to be happy and see the people that he loves, because he feels like he's unworthy of that. But he's finally overcome that. Now he can do that. And like, that's fan fiction headcanon territory, but it's very easy to imagine that just happening off screen now, because that is what would happen actually now. Knock on Martha's door one day and be like, what's up? Let's talk. He can go and visit fucking Joe Grant. How are you doing? Let's talk for a couple minutes, you know? Let's hang out for a bit. Let's go for tea. Donna's waiting, you know? Just don't let her near the console anymore. Just don't do that. I think it's so beautiful for the doctor to go this way. And it's I keep talking about this as if there was only one doctor and if this was the ending of the doctor. The other doctor, the Gadwa doctor, the bi-generation doctor, keeps going. And I like what they did with this new bi-generation of the doctor with Gadwa, the 15th doctor. But I do like it because when they split, there was a clear contrast between the personalities of the two. And the 15th Doctor's personality was much more fun and relaxed and jovial. And it felt like all of the healthy parts of the Doctor came out. And they literally just like hugged him and told him, it's okay, man. Like, it's okay, calm down. It was really beautiful to have that. That's what I feel like the 15th Doctor is the good vibes of the Doctor. Is the Doctor at his simplest, most self-realized form, where he doesn't have to deal with the guilt. I mean, he probably does, like he remembers everything that happened, but it seems like this version of the Doctor, the 15th Doctor, is a version of the Doctor that has actually gotten to the point where he healed, where he feels better, where he feels like more comfortable in his own shoes, where he doesn't really hate himself as much. He's just like, you know what, let's have fun, man. Meanwhile, it feels like the 14th Doctor he doesn't have like a magical bi-generation way of just getting rid of all of that. So instead, he's just gonna sit down, have dinner with his family, and come to the realization that I deserve this and I need a break. The 15th Doctor doesn't need it because the 15th Doctor is already a person that is completely fine. But the 14th Doctor is still scarred, is still hurt. He needs a little bit of healing, and that's okay because he's already taken the first steps. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I love this storyline. I really do. I don't like checking tags on Twitter and stuff, so I usually don't. But you know when you open YouTube and then you go to your feed and then you get to see a bunch of like weird people yelling about stuff and you're like, okay, I was just having a great time. I don't know what the fuck happened. And I like that the beginning, the first 20 minutes of the episode was actually that. That was the main villain's master plan. I love that actually. It was heavy-handed. It was very direct, very in your face. But I liked it. And I liked it because I've been yelling about this shit for I don't know how long. If you watch my videos for a degree of time, and if you listen to me rant about stuff, first of all, thank you. You don't have to, but thank you. But if you do, you can hear me rant about the algorithm, you know, and the way modern internet works and stuff. And I like that there was a moment where the Doctor got really upset and just started yelling about this shit, because it really feels like that's just Russell T Davies yelling about this shit. He's just so upset at the fact that this is something that is happening. We're just writing it. This is just the modern world we live in, and it is upsetting. And I was watching that and I was like, yeah, bro, same. Like, I feel the exact same way. And that is the entirety of the internet now. Actually, just all of it. All of it. Every social media site, YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and whichever one you want to pick. All of it is incited by ads. which means that all of it is enhanced, quote unquote, by the algorithm in order to sell more product. But when you do that, you enhance voices that shouldn't have any weight on anything, because people can just say whatever the fuck they want. But those voices are enhanced, and now a lot of people hear them and a lot of people echo them when in reality they have no weight. But due to the sheer size of the people yelling it, now they do, and we just kind of have to deal with that. The first 20 minutes of the episode was nothing but that. It was, what if the entire world went crazy? And by crazy, I mean, what if everyone was a Twitter blue user? I'm dead naming that shit. Fuck that website. Fuck Elon Musk. You can buy my silence for $100,000. I'll stop talking shit about you. You give me $100,000, bro. I will continue to do so privately, but just not on camera. Also, your daughter hates you, and your wife left you to go fuck a trans woman, and the fact that this is your reason why you hate trans people is hilarious, actually. It is the most pathetic thing I could think about. It's really funny, dude. This is a big episode. We can talk about the Toymaker, I guess. It's weird because the Toymaker was a huge part of the episode, but at the same time he wasn't, right? Like, the important part about the episode wasn't the Toymaker. He was just a conduit for it, in a way. I like the Toymaker. I do. I like the concept of the Toymaker by itself. Even when I first read about the Toymaker, I was like, I really like this character. I really like the idea of like a trickster god that just forces you to play games and you can't really defeat him. I mean, you can beat him at the game, but beyond just beating him at the game, he's just gonna keep coming. Like, this guy is just an entity. He's a force. He's not just a villain, you know? He's not a person. He's something else. Something beyond us mere mortals. The Master. Give me a second. What happened here at the end? Let me see the hand. Let me see the hand. When the Toymaker is taken away, there's a hand that picks up the golden tooth. It looks like it might be a lady hand just because it has painted fingernails. But that doesn't have to mean anything. But if it could be a lady. Either that means that the new master is also going to be a lady, which would be cool. I love Missy. Or that is a lady that is going to bring back the master. Or it could be anything. Actually, it could be whatever. I don't know. This is Doctor Who. Again, it might not even be a lady because painted fingernails doesn't have to mean shit. The master could be the drag queen that they announced that was going to be a part of the cast in the future. That could be a case. I don't know. I mean, that didn't look extravagant enough, so maybe that won't be it, but I don't know. What do I know? Okay, I think that's gonna be it for this video. I don't know what else to talk about. I mean, I spent like half an hour just talking about how beautiful it is, the storyline for the Doctor. I had a rant about social media and the algorithms and all the fucking Twitter boomers that I hate. Clearly, Russell T Davies has had enough too. He's real upset about that. I really like how this entire trilogy of episodes is Russell T Davies yelling at some different thing. Or not yelling, but just bringing a subject into the camera that would upset people. And he does so in the most unsubtle way in order to, I feel like, piss off as many people as possible. Because like that's the thing, is that a lot of those people, like in the Jodie Whittaker era, those people complain and bitch about Doctor Who the whole time, and it's like, bro, like if this really upset you, you would just leave. But the reality is that you get off on the feeling of like, I like being angry, which turns you into the dumb toy in this episode where people are controlling you in order to just be angry instead of just chilling for a second and thinking for yourself. Commentary. I think that's gonna be it for my reaction episode to this episode of Doctor Who. I think on Christmas, on the 25th, so a little bit over 2 weeks from now, we're gonna be watching the first story with the 15th Doctor, the Godboy Doctor. Maybe he'll wear pants this time. By the way, like they were sharing clothes, right? Like when they split, the clothes also split, I think. So because the 15th Doctor had underwear, that means that Tennant was freeballing underneath those pants. That's something for you to think about. And that is going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching this. See you guys next time. Hi, what's up? Sorry, this is a weird thing to be adding to this video. I am recording this a couple days after I recorded originally the reaction episode to Doctor Who. I am actually recording this immediately after an Angel reaction I just did. But while I'm in here, let me just talk about a couple things that I realized about the Doctor Who episode since I watched it originally. First things first, Bernard Cribbins was nowhere to be seen in this episode, and I understand. So to me, that looks like last episode during Wobbly Yonder. That was like the only footage we had of Bernard Cribbins that we managed to film before he passed away. And so we couldn't have him in either in this story, in the Giggle, or in Star Beast, because he probably would have been in Star Beast if we had recorded him for it. Because again, I saw like a reading that they did and he was in the table. So I think he was supposed to be in this 3-parter, but he wasn't. And the only one that we managed to film was the Wild Blue Yonder one. And like, I didn't realize that at all after I finished the Giggle, because the Giggle has so much shit in it. It's so fucking packed. There's so much to talk about that like, I completely forgot that Bernard Cribbins was at the very beginning, or was supposed to be at the very beginning of it. So I think that he definitely, he was meant to be in these episodes, but he wasn't. And the only time we managed to record anything from him was during Wild Blue Yonder. So Wild Blue Yonder now becomes the last time we do get to see Will, and that's just it. So that's sad. But I just wanted to bring that up because I feel like I should mention it and I didn't. And the other thing is that I've seen a lot of people being like, fuck by generation, what the fuck are we doing? This shit is so dumb and confusing and it doesn't matter. And why is Doctor Who doing all this dumb crazy shit? I never want to hear anyone complain about Moffat doing dumb shit like that again. I heard some people say that stuff like that online, and my take on that is, bro, who gives a shit? Like, okay, my take on that is I don't really care about what makes sense in a dumb sci-fi show that doesn't have any rules, because like, people are talking about like, oh, this is stupid, like this is just confusing, there's no reason for this, and I'm sitting here like, there was a reason. It was the emotional drive of the Doctor finally taking a break. And like, that's what that episode was about. Like, it's not about introducing a new Doctor only, and it's not about just like, hey, what are the rules of the generation that we can do? Like, that doesn't fucking matter. It never mattered, because what actually matters is telling a good story. I think that is it, right? What matters is telling a good story. And the story that they're trying to tell is the story about the Doctor being tired. It's about the Doctor dealing with a lot and not processing any of it. Essentially, the Doctor needs therapy. He's not processing anything that is happening to him, and a lot is happening. And there's a moment, I didn't talk about this, but I noticed it. I immediately picked up on it. I made a joke, but it wasn't maybe the best joke. I don't know. I haven't edited the episode yet. But like, the 15th Doctor talks to the 14th Doctor, and it's like, bro, we fought the gods of Ragnarok and we didn't talk about it. And it's like, yeah, that was the greatest show in the galaxy, by the way. That is an episode that I did a reaction to. The joke that I made was because Sylvester McCoy does a stunt in it where shit explodes behind him, and apparently the stunt was real, and also the explosion was way bigger than it was meant to be. His coat caught on fire and he didn't flinch. Sylvester McCoy just walked away like a badass, but in reality, he should have been like, bro, what? Anyway, that is the greatest show in the galaxy. The Doctor does a bunch of magic tricks in front of God. It was weird. It's really cool. I love this Sylvester McCoy run. Anyway, but yeah, like, the Doctor just keeps going, and he deals with so much shit. He does so much shit, and so much shit happens to him, and he never has a moment to just like process it or like get better. Instead, he tries to keep himself busy. He keeps trying to go to a different adventure, a different thing, focus on something different in order to not think about what happened. And that is not a healthy thing to do. Just in general. It doesn't matter if it's a Doctor or an alien entity. It is, for anyone, that is just a fucked up thing to do. And I do and that is what the episode is going for. That is what the entire 60th year anniversary was going for. Actually, the trilogy. All 3 of these episodes were about the Doctor having some unprocessed shit that now, you know what, let's talk about it. The 15th Doctor feels like a new take on the Doctor in the sense that it is a Doctor that is like cool with it. Like, it feels like it's a Doctor that allowed himself to just feel good about himself. I'm excited to see the Doctor in the new venue, because generally, not always, but generally, we see the Doctor in like a place of like guilt, or like a somber, I don't want to talk about it. Christopher Eccleston, the 9th Doctor, was the PTSD Doctor. David Tennant is the Doctor that has a lot of shit happen to him, but he never wants to talk about it. He just keeps moving. The man who keeps running, never looking back because he dare not. Utter shame. The 11th Doctor was like, he's the one that feels like he was fucking around the most, but there were a couple scenes where it became very clear that he was very much acting like he was fucking around because he didn't want to stop for a second, which is also not healthy. It's more in the same route. It's like David Tennant but on crack. The 12th Doctor is the one that I like because it really felt like he was actually dealing with a lot of shit. He actually did stop and have a lot of those things affect him the most. Like the 12th Doctor is the one that things affected him the most in like an incredibly unhealthy manner. You can see it in like Waters of Mars with like the 10th Doctor, but the 12th Doctor just punched a wall for 4.5 billion years because he couldn't cope with losing one person. Like that's the level, right? The 12th Doctor just doesn't allow himself to just move on. He keeps going to the point that is so unhealthy to do so. And the 13th Doctor, again, half the universe died and we didn't really talk about it much, to the point that it felt weird to me. And I like that now we're bringing that back in. I do like that this is a thing where, you know what, we're giving it the importance it deserves. So much so that is the storyline for the 14th Doctor. And some people were upset because it's like, I wanted David Tennant to die again. And I guess it's like this thing of like, I want David Tennant to just be gone because we give a lot of screen time to David Tennant. He's like screen whoring every time. Like David Tennant just shows up again and it's like, God damn it, here it comes again. And it's like, people love David Tennant, like most people do, but I can understand some people are tired of it. I think they're wrong because David Tennant is such a fucking good actor and such a good doctor that I love him. Some people are just tired of the fact that he's given so much attention, though. I don't think Russell T Davies will bring him back until like maybe the end of his new run, right? I think he will maybe show up again. What I would like to see is for him to show up again for one last story and for him to be like, dude, I just lived like 50, 100 years on Earth and it was awesome. I feel so much better now. Thank you so much for giving me that pep talk that time. And then he's like, let's fuse together again. And then the 40th Doctor and the 50th Doctor fuse together again. And then they become the 16th Doctor. That would be kind of cool. I would actually be kind of down with that. I would like to have David Tennant back again. And he's like, you know what? I'm happy now. Thank you for what you did for me. And they were both like, you know what? Hell yeah. We feel good now. We don't have depression anymore. And then they fuse and they turn into the next Doctor. That sounds stupid. And I would love that. 100%. Anyway, that's just like an extra thing I wanted to add because I feel like I didn't talk about that when I originally watched the episode, but I was thinking about it and it's like, yeah, I do love that shit. I do love everything that we did with the 14th Doctor here. It is very emotional. And like, again, I noticed this because I was talking about something similar to this with a friend of mine. We were talking about like Hideo Kojima and Hideo Kojima games. And I said something like, I played Death Stranding like 30, 40 hours of it, 50, and I didn't finish the game. And we were talking about like what happens in it, and I was like, I don't remember what happens in that game and like actually in the story. But I do remember Hideo Kojima coming out of the screen, grabbing me by the throat, looking me in the eyes and telling me, bro, connections? I think that connections are very important. I think that the internet is a wonderful thing that you can use in order to connect with other people. However, people are getting distracted and losing sight of what actually matters, which is real human connection, touch, intimacy, and getting distracted by things that actually don't matter, which is just getting a bunch of likes on Facebook. That on itself is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just the overdose of it. It is a good thing to want human acceptance, acknowledgement, and interaction. Really, the point of life is being able to connect with other people like that. So it is good to want those things, and you should seek out those desires, connect with other people. And that's what Death Stranding was about. I don't know what the fuck was happening with the time brain or whatever and the zombies, but I do know what Hideo Kojima wanted me to know. And the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because I don't care about the rules of regeneration or bi-generation or how confusing it might be. It's not really that confusing. A little bit confusing for a newcomer, but guess what? I don't think it matters. Because you know what matters? The fact that the Doctor is having therapy. And it's emotional and it's cool and I like it, you know? I do like that. And that is the whole point of it. Like, we can get distracted about, like, the specifics of this dumb sci-fi fantasy world that doesn't fucking matter because we can make up whatever rules we want. And that has always been the case. People felt the exact same way when William Hartnell regenerated for the first time in, like, 1966 or whatever. The rules are made up and they always have been. Russell Davies completely understands that. Because I saw an interview, I mentioned this before, I saw an interview that he did on, like, a talk show alongside David Tennant before the 6-year specials aired. And they asked, like, so when you were deciding that you were going to bring the gang back together for one last ride with David Tennant and Catherine Tate, were you worried about how you were going to write David Tennant in again after he was gone, and he was like, nah. That was never an issue. That was never a problem, because that's true. Like in a show like Doctor Who, you never worry about like, how do I make this thing happen? Like, oh, I wrote myself into a corner. How do I do it? It's like, no, things can just happen. Bullshit can just happen, because Doctor Who is just kind of like that. What matters in Doctor Who are following these characters and this character's adventures and how much you care about it. And I cared enough for me to be really emotionally invested in the story with the 14th Doctor, and I really liked what he did. So that's what I have to say on it. Anyway, I think that's gonna be it. This is just an extra thing I wanted to add to this Doctor Who video. Like, dude, I recorded an Angel video just now. My discussion for that Angel episode was as long as this extra bit I just recorded for the Doctor Who video I already talked about. That's how much I care about Doctor Who. That's how many things I have to say about Doctor Who. Okay, final thing, maybe, that I want to bring up. Something I just realized too, because I was just rewatching an episode reaction of the Giggle. Something I thought about, I forgot about, but I'll think about it again. I'll bring it up. We might get a new spin-off show, maybe. I would be very delighted to follow a spin-off show. We might have a spin-off show following Unit. You know, we might get Torchwood, but Unit, actually. And the reason why I say that is because Unit featured prominently this episode, and it's like, whatever, like that can happen every now and then. Like that's not a big deal. Melanie showed up. She's working for Unit. Okay, that is two main characters are Unit people. Actually, there's the wheelchair lady. I don't know her name, but she's important enough. That's 3. Kate was like, Donna, you want to come work with us? And Donna was like, pay me double, and she was like, done. So that's 4 characters that potentially work at Unit. Ace and Tegan, that is 6 people that potentially work at Unit. Now, the problem with this would be that is too many old ladies, and I don't know how many stunts they can do. That would be the one problem with this new idea that I'm cooking up here. And actually, the biggest reason why I think that we might get a Unit spinoff, actually, is because of the robot. The little I don't remember the name, but there was like a robot alien thing that was in like the wall that was helping out with like the armband thing, and like it has a name, and they're like, oh, he's helping us out, and it's like, oh, cool. And we just never address where it came from or what the fuck it's doing here, what its purpose is, or like anything about its character or motivation, or if it's a character or if it's just an AI. I don't know. It's like a weird introduction to a thing that we just treat as if it's absolute, but it's just there. That to me feels like, I don't fucking know, like Alpha in Power Rangers, right? Or like Zordon. Like that to me feels like if we were to have a spin-off show with Unit, that would be a recurring important character that would help us out with like a bunch of missions and stuff. And that is the only reason why that would show up here without actually elaborating into anything about why it's here or what it's actually doing or where it came from, right? Like we don't elaborate much on that thing, but I feel like if we were to have a spin-off show, we would. The other reason, and this doesn't really mean anything, but another thing is that there's like an official Torchwood YouTube channel that was created like a couple years ago, like 3 years ago, which is around the time that this would have been being cooked up, right, in the planning process. So if they were going to revive Torchwood, which this doesn't feel like it will be. This feels like it would be a Unit spinoff, not Torchwood. But if it were to be Torchwood in some way, just like a new version of Torchwood, we rename or something like that, and then we get Eve Miles and maybe we get John Barrowman in here. We just have a new Torchwood, but now it's Unit, and now we're in an Avengers Tower, and it's just like an Avengers spin-off show. If that were to happen, then it would make sense for them to have set up like an official Torchwood like YouTube channel where they uploaded a bunch of clips and compilations and stuff, and it's all official. And it's like, why? Nobody gives a shit about Torchwood. Torchwood's dead. Like, so like that's something that always struck to me. It was like, why is this a YouTube channel that was made like 3 years ago? Like, why are they uploading new shit here? Nobody gives a shit about Torchwood. But again, this doesn't have to mean anything, right? It's just the fact that there's a Torchwood YouTube channel doesn't mean anything. That is just my conspiracy theorist brain going on. I'm just looking for any chance where we might get Torchwood back in, because I love Torchwood. And I would love the notion of a Unit spinoff show featuring like a bunch of older companions that are now a bunch of badasses. Maybe it wouldn't be a show like Torchwood, you know? Like Torchwood was very action heavy because it was very mature. There were lots of guns and a lot of death. Maybe we could have a more of a mystery show where we do a lot of investigation and not maybe a lot of running, just a lot of sleuthing. you know? And they could do that. I would watch that. Hell, like, fuck yeah, give me any show with Ace and fuck it, like Kate Restore. I love Kate. Give me those two and I'm in, right? Like, it doesn't matter what. And maybe Catherine, I think, will be in it too. Fuck yeah, I'm in. Maybe we could have cameos from the 14th Doctor in the spin-off. Make David Tennant will just be a spin-off Doctor. Whatever. That's just dumb shit that I'm throwing at the wall now. That is not based on anything, but I would watch that. I would love that, actually. Anyway, that is gonna be it for, well, because that would, now I'm going, like, I'm actually piecing this together in my brain right now as I speak. And this, again, I understand that this is all fantasy, like, this doesn't have to mean anything, and I don't think it does, but it would be really cool if we actually get a spin-off show where we get a bunch of companions just investigating stuff happening, and David Tennant shows up like every now and then, like he's like a consultant. We just consult the 14th Doctor every now and then when Unit needs help. They're like, hey Doctor, I mean, we want to give him a break, right? We don't want him to go do some fucked up shit. So maybe it would be like a more family friendly spin-off, like Sarah Jane Adventures, but it's actually the Unit sleuthing agency featuring David Tennant every now and then. And that wouldn't be too dissimilar. I mean, it would be in tone, but it wouldn't be too different to the Third Doctor's era, actually. Because the Third Doctor was a doctor who was stuck on Earth, and he was working for Unit as the, like, what was it? The scientific advisor. That was the origins of Unit. It was, I mean, I think it was there for the Second Doctor, but the Third Doctor, that was it. Like, the Doctor joined in as an actual employee of Unit, and he worked as like a scientific advisor, and they were just investigating alien threats happening on Earth. That was like, that's what those would be. That's what the Third Doctor's era was. And that is what this spin-off would be. And I would be down for it. And maybe it would be more family friendly, more kid friendly, and that's why the 14th Doctor gets to chill a little bit, because we wouldn't deal with a lot of fucked up shit. We would just deal with, like, you know, aliens show up and we say hi to them, like, and we, like, stop some bad stuff from happening, but it's not too stressful, you know? Anyway, sure. I just said a bunch of things that don't mean anything, but how cool would it be, though? I'm gonna leave you with that. Also, David Tennant is still free balling. I haven't forgotten that shit. That is gonna be my send off for this episode. Thank you so much, you guys, for tuning into this video. See you guys next time. Bye. And if you would like to support the channel and check out all these episodes in full length, you can do so over at the Patreon. Check out the link in the description below. Social media, all sorts of cool stuff that I do. I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody. Bye bye.